Good evening. Hey, it's just Jeff from the Icebox Radio Theater, letting you know about all the great stuff we have going on this October. It's the spooky season and the month of audio drama on the Icebox Radio Theater. First off, Rum Runner Sue returns with a brand new spooky-themed episode entitled Monster Sour Mash. That's going to be dropped on Thursday the 8th. Next, our annual Halloween fundraiser is underway. You can learn more about that at iceboxradio.org/live and help us avoid a trip to the radio graveyard with $1 or $2. The funding drive culminates on Halloween night with Tremblethon 24, our annual Facebook live-streamed holiday special starring Sydney Thermidor and the Winter Warlock. We also have a live stage show coming up on October 24th. That's going to feature a world premiere play and an episode of Quiet Please. And if all that's not enough, we're counting down the top 6 horror episodes of the Icebox Radio Theater the final week of this month. That's called The Scary 6, and the episodes are going to be selected by you, the listener. Now, you have to be a member or patron to play, so go to iceboxradio.org/join to either become a theater member or join our Patreon. And remember, both those programs now offer free memberships. Rum Runner Sue on the 8th, live show on the 24th, Tremblethon on Halloween night, and the Scary 6 poll and the funding drive all month long. It's the spooky season on the Icebox Radio Theater. Listen in if you dare.
See? What did I say? Easy as pie.
I don't know about this.
Come on. We'll just pop in for a look-see, then get out. 2 minutes.
Well, you know what they say about this place, don't ya? They say it's haunted.
Poppycock. Just an old mansion abandoned by a bunch of rich folk with more money than sense. Who knows what they left behind? Look here. Sterling silver, I bet.
Oh, come on, let's get out of here.
Start looking for a safe.
A what?
A safe, dummy, where they keep all their valuables.
Oh, where?
Basement, I imagine.
The basement? No, sir, not for me, no.
What's the matter? You scared?
Well, I would think if you were paying any attention at all, you know the answer to that question is yes.
Now, go on.
I don't like it. I don't like any of this. How's you get down to the basement anyway?
I don't know. Try that door.
What, this one here?
Yeah, that looks likely.
Why?
I don't know. Just open it.
You never think about my feelings at all. I don't know why I keep coming.
What is it? What now?
What? Do you see this?
What? You find something valuable?
I think we should get out of here.
You've said many times. And what is it you want?
You see what I mean? I don't know what this is, but I think we should get out of here.
Who?
Huh?
I said who? It's not a thing, it's a person. A woman.
You mean that's not a statue?
Ain't like no statue I've ever seen. Look at her eyes. Staring at us like that.
Oh, can't we just get out of here?
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me just gather up some of the silver and...
What was that?
I don't know. Let's get out of here.
Stand by for adventure. Stand by for mystery. Stand by for the Icebox Radio Theater and Rum Runner Sue. It's Rum Runner Sue, starring Billie Joe Konze. Mystery and adventure in the northern wilderness of Prohibition America. We'll be back with tonight's exciting story right after this. The The year 1927. The place, Icebox, Minnesota. A tiny village on Rainy Lake. The island-spotted paradise that forms the border between the United States and Canada. Between the great social experiment of Prohibition and the legal production and distribution of lady liquor. Just off Main Street sits a tiny establishment called the Deacon Seat, home and throne room to the queen of these parts, the owner-operator, a beauty in checked flannel and dungarees, Susan Conti. Or, as she's known around these parts, Rum Runner Sue.
You know, that nickname is beginning to wear on me just a bit. If you followed our story so far, you know all about how I came to earn it, so I won't bore you with those details. But you should know things have changed. Running rum and its many bottled cousins was fun and easy at first, mostly because other people did the work. But unfortunately, those days are over. My good friend Al from Chicago thought it best if he and I kept a little distance from each other. It was for my own protection, of course, and I completely agreed. But man, is it wreaking havoc with my business. Without a steady stream of product coming south out of Canada, the Deacon Seat is as dry as a temperance meeting some nights. A situation my friend and partner Mary and I were doing our best to fix. Unfortunately, our best was not always up to snuff. Or for that matter, safe. Are you sure you know how to do this?
Of course I know. I've seen it done 100 times.
Seen it done?
Ma used to mix up a batch of this recipe for the holidays.
Ah, that explains the holly leaves. Aren't they poisonous?
You're thinking of mistletoe.
Oh.
We put that in later.
Oh. Are you sure people can drink this stuff?
Well, I wouldn't try it on the very young and the elderly, but our crowd should be okay. They're a hearty bunch.
I don't know, Mary. Something about mixing up our own bathtub gin seems unsavory.
Unsavory?
Yeah, like we're gonna kill somebody on accident. You hear tell about people drinking homebrew poison all the time.
Well, if I do this right, there isn't actually much threat of poisoning. With this recipe, the big thing you gotta watch out for is fire!
Oh my god, my bathtub's on fire.
Quick, that blanket.
Here.
There, that's got it.
But the blanket.
Treated with asbestos, don't worry.
You had an asbestos blanket on hand?
Of course.
Like you knew this hooch would spontaneously combust?
I didn't know it would. I knew it could. Important difference.
Well, thank you for thinking ahead.
Of course. Better keep the blanket on top to prevent flare-ups. This batch is ruined, I'm afraid.
Maybe it's time to call it quits. I should just pack it in and grow tomatoes.
You already grow tomatoes. And we can't quit now. The boys in town are all counting on us.
Well, you can't run a speakeasy without liquor. And no one on the Canadian side will sell to us because they don't want to get mixed up with the gang wars down south. And our efforts to make our own are, well...
dangerous?
Yeah.
Well, there is one more option.
What's that?
We leave it to the professionals. We set up an account with a real, live, still operating moonshiner.
You can't mean...
I don't think we have a choice.
But Mary...
Susan, what else can we do? We're gonna have to go meet old Jim.
I guess.
Great. I'll go change.
Change? We're headed into the bush. What's wrong with what you're wearing?
Old Jim will shoot anyone that comes within 100 yards of his still. Unless, of course, he thinks you're friendly. And I've got a few things in the back of my closet that are as friendly as all get out. I'm thinking my red dress.
You mean the one with the neckline that's more of a beltway?
That's the one. You still got that yellow sundress?
I am not going to get dolled up to go see a bootlegger.
Moonshiner. And you'll get a better price this way.
Ugh, the things I do.
Oh, and I need to borrow some of your fancier underthings.
What for?
Structural integrity. Come on.
Now, this one here, I like to call the Lucky Lindy on account of how it keeps the customers flying.
You want to do the honors this time, Sue?
I don't think I should. That last, cocktail made the room spin a bit.
Yeah, the swamp gas is a bit strong. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone under 250 pounds.
I had no idea you were such a mixologist, Jim.
What you say?
You know, a bartender. Making up creative cocktails and such.
Oh, well, I learned a bit ago that my hooch ain't for everyone straight from the jar. So I took to adding fruit, sugars, bitters, what have you. If we're going to be partners, you'll find it's very necessary.
So we can count on you for regular shipments?
Well, I'm sure we have some of the same customers, so you might cut into my sales a bit. But if you can pay the price we talked about,
I don't see why not.
then we have a deal. With one proviso.
What's that?
Oh, you gotta swear to me, Susan. I mean, on your word, that you're here on your own and not on behalf of that boyfriend of yours.
Cross my heart.
Nice going, Sue. You got him thinking about your heart again.
Ugh. Well, you're the one that made me wear this dress.
Well, it got us the discount, didn't it?
My eyes are up here, Jim.
So?
All right, I think our business is finished here. We'll buy the fruit you suggested and lay in some preserves.
Well, and remember, no more than 1 part hooch or 10 parts something else. Any more and the customers go blind.
Right.
You know, there is one more option if you girls have your hearts set on real liquor.
What do you mean?
Well, have you ever thought of paying a little visit to Serene Shores?
What? No, thanks, Jim. We gotta be going.
Wait a minute. What's Serene Shores?
You mean you don't know?
Never heard of it before. Is it a new club or something?
It's nothing we need to worry about, Sue. Come on, let's go.
What's got you all nervous?
Nothing. Let's just go.
I'll tell you what's got her all nervous. She's heard the story. Serene Shores is one of them fancy lake homes. Sits on its own island and everything. A mansion, you might call it. Built by a city slicker name of Cuthbert Hyde-White. And Cuthbert liked his parties. He dug a tunnel from the lake in under the house's foundation so shipments could come directly into his basement. Had a dock down there and everything. Boats from Canada used to run in there day and night. Old Cuthbert kept enough hooch on hand to quench a Shriners convention.
So this character had a big wine cellar, so what?
Well, that's the thing. The house is abandoned now, and all that hooch is still down there.
Abandoned? What happened?
Oh, no one really knows, but there are stories. See, Cuthbert had himself a wife from Egypt, even called herself Cleopatra. She liked to do dark rites, sacrifices, and such for the ancient gods. Rich folks from all over the country used to come and take part. They say there'd be naked dancing on the front lawn, huge bonfires, human sacrifice.
Human sacrifice?
Oh, that's what brought it all to an end. One night, neighbors from just across the channel thought they heard screams. They hopped in their boat and motored over to see what's what. And they seen a girl tied to this kind of a cross thing sticking up out of the front lawn. Oh, naked as a jaybird she was. And Cleopatra was there in one of her Egyptian gowns with a gold crown that had a serpent's head on top. And she had a big old knife and was waving it around, reciting some ancient rite. And there was 50 or 60 people on the lawn, screaming and dancing, all of them naked as the day they were born. Oh, but that's not the worst.
It isn't?
Oh, no. The neighbors turned their boat around and got out of there as fast as they could go, but as they steamed away, they looked back and saw Cleopatra floating about 30 feet in the air. Her head was stuck back like she was in a trance, and she was glowing with white light. So the neighbors went right to the sheriff, and he headed out there that very night.
As he should.
But when he got to the house, he found it completely abandoned. It was all lit up. There was food and drink on the table. The kitchen looked like it was in the middle of preparing a feast. There was even a pot still bubbling away on the stove. And the boats, they were still tied up to the dock. But the people were just gone. The sheriff locked the place and went home. Everything in that house is still there, including the liquor down in the cellar. No one dares go near it now. Though I hear tell some rum runners that pass by at night see a ghostly light floating along a second-floor hallway lined with windows.
That is the most ridiculous story I've ever heard.
Oh, it's all true. Ask anyone.
And even if there was a huge cache of liquor, I'm sure it's been raided by now.
Oh, maybe, but most of the professional thieves around here won't go anywhere near the place. And I haven't seen any high-end spirits or fine wine on the market lately. Odds are it's still all there. Enough to keep your place running for a year.
Then why don't you go raid it yourself, Jim?
I'm more on the manufacturing end. Besides, I'm not too proud to admit the place gives me the willies. Go talk to your boyfriend if you don't believe me. They say he ran away with his tail between his legs.
All right, that's it. We're going, Mary.
Real good doing business with you, Jim. Can we get that first shipment by the weekend?
Oh, sure thing, Mary. Watch out for ghosts now.
Don't even say that. Slow up. My legs aren't as long as yours.
I can't believe that man. Nor you if you want the truth.
Me? What did I do?
You went along with him and his ghost nonsense, that's what.
I wasn't going along with anything. I really am scared, Sue.
Poppycock.
It's true. I first heard that story about 2 years back, and it gave me the chills something fierce. And I met 3 fellows what claimed to have seen that mysterious light.
Still, you shouldn't have encouraged him, especially when he said those things about Beau.
Oh, so that's what this is about.
What?
You're all wound up because he suggested your fella's a coward. I understand.
It's just so ridiculous, the very idea that Beau would be afraid of a ghost.
But wait, this doesn't mean you're actually thinking of going out to that place, are you?
Well, I don't know.
We'd be stealing, you know.
I've broken the law plenty of times.
Not counting Volstead wraps?
Oh, whose side are you on anyway?
I know what will make you feel better.
What?
A little research. I say we go to Beau, ask him about this mysterious mansion filled with liquor, and then decide to forget it.
What?
I mean, decide what to do. It'll give you a chance to see him again and ask him if he really did run away.
No need. I know it's not true. We're not going to talk about this anymore. We are not scrounging any booze, and we are certainly not asking Beau about it. That's final.
Hello, Sue. Oh, hi, Mary.
Beau?
To what do I owe the pleasure, ladies? If pleasure's the word.
Pardon, Sue. She's a little upset.
I am not.
Murderously annoyed, then.
Where did you pick up such vocabulary?
Been reading the books you gave me, so it's your own fault.
At least something good came of this.
Beau, we need your help. We need some information about an abandoned house out on the lake.
I see. This, wouldn't be a certain lake home reputed to be once owned by an eccentric millionaire, would it?
It might.
Oh, quit fencing with him. Beau, we know about the Hyde-White mansion. The crazy stories, an Egyptian wife, all of it.
I see. Been talking to old Jim, I take it?
Yes. And do you know what that reprobate said about you? He said you ran away from the house like a coward.
Completely inaccurate.
Ha! I thought so.
I sailed away like a coward.
What?
You mean it's true? All the crazy stories?
I don't know about all the stories.
Beau, you cannot sit there and tell me you actually ran away from a haunted house.
I don't suppose I could make the boat distinction again?
I wouldn't.
Okay. I didn't exactly run, Sue, but I gotta tell you, I served on the battlefields of France and saw some horrible things. But nothing has ever set the hairs up on my neck like that house. It was the Wilcoxes from across the lake that came and got us.
Jim told us they were the closest neighbors.
Well, that's right. They sent their boy to town on his bicycle. Normally we wouldn't go bother people on the word of a child, but something about this boy's eyes told me it was serious. And since he said there was a young girl being abused, we didn't have much choice. So Latch, Powers, and me got into the launch and took off up the shore. We dropped off the Wilcox boy at his dock and then headed over to the mansion. It was lit up all right. I think every light in the place was burning. 4 or 5 boats were just bobbing at the dock, all expensive inboard jobs. There was this post kind of a thing, like a cross, planted on the yard, but no one near it. No one on the island, period. I searched the house. Latch and Powers circled the island. They didn't find anything, and what I found, I still can't explain.
What was it?
It was like there was a party 1 second, and the next it was just gone. Food was on the dinner table, still warm. There were drinks set down, some still with ice in them. There was a phonograph record in the living room that, and I swear on a stack of Bibles about this, it was still playing. Well, what's a record last, 5 minutes? And all this after the Wilcoxes swore 100 people were at that house earlier that evening.
So they left, so what?
Yeah, but how did they leave? Swim? We circled the island once in the launch and even patrolled the shore for a mile each way. We never saw signs of anyone. I tell you, I'm not proud of this, but I put a padlock on that door and got away from there just as fast as I could.
But you can't be seriously thinking it was... What are you thinking it was, Beau?
Susan, I have no idea. But since there was no evidence of a crime, there wasn't much to do. I wrote up the report that the Wilcoxes made a noise complaint, and when the house was investigated, it was found abandoned. Factually accurate, just not as detailed as it could be.
All right, we have to figure out what happened out there.
No, you don't. You go to that island, Sue, it'd be trespassing.
Well, did the owners ever turn up?
To my knowledge, no.
What about the lights on the second floor?
Those reports generally come from men who've had a bit of old Jim's brew. They also claim to have seen mermaids and sea monsters.
So that's it? You're just going to leave the house to rot because of an old ghost story?
It's not a ghost story, and there were claims that the Hyde-Whites indulged in satanic rituals and the like. You've heard the story about the missus floating in midair?
Yes.
That says to me, magician's trick. A lot of those spiritualist types start out as show magicians. Saw lady in half kind of people. Maybe Mrs. Hyde-White started out that way, got into the spiritualist game, and then nabbed herself a rich husband with a yin for the occult.
We heard she was from Egypt.
I only met her once, but her voice struck me as more Chicago than Banks of the Nile.
So you think the Hyde-Whites were con men?
Him? No. He seemed very sincere in his interests. The whole reason I talked to him that one time was that the public librarian had lodged a complaint about the kind of books he was requesting. Turns out the bookmobile doesn't carry a copy of the Necronomicon. As for her, I'd say she was, well, it was likely she played to his taste to get him to the altar, but what woman doesn't? I mean, in general.
So you really think she made a house full of people disappear?
I don't know what to think, Susan. Most likely the Wilcoxes heard the noise and just thought a big crowd was on the island. Might have been just a dozen or so making a huge racket. They admitted they didn't stick around very long to find out.
And the disappearance?
Who knows? All I know is there was no one in the house and no bodies washed up on the beaches in the following days.
So that's it. Case closed?
Susan, I got 3,000 miles of county to police and 4 officers to do it with. The Hyde-Whites aren't bothering anyone anymore, so yeah. Case closed. I got more important things to do.
Right, well, thanks for your time.
Don't mention it. Dinner later?
Sorry, busy tonight. Come on, Mary.
We're busy tonight?
Yep. You and I, Mary, are going to investigate a haunted house.
Investigate as in... go to?
Yep.
Excuse me a second, I forgot to tell Beau something.
Oh, no, you don't, Missy. You're with me right to the end.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You're sure it was along this side of the shore?
I think so. I never could navigate on this lake. The islands get me turned around every which way.
It can't be too much longer. I haven't seen any other cabins for a while, and everyone says this place is isolated.
Wait, what's that?
What?
There. Looks like a dock sticking out from the shore.
I think you're right.
Do you see anything?
Wait a second. The moon's coming out.
Oh, boy.
Now take it easy.
I am taking it easy. I'm just... I don't know what I am.
Scared? Chicken-livered?
Hey! But yes.
That's got to be the house.
Agreed. Big, creepy mansion.
Hang on.
What is it?
I just remembered. This boat we rented has a floodlight on the front.
You're not going to shine it on the house, are you?
Why wouldn't I?
So as to not alert anyone we're here.
There's no one around for miles, Mary.
You sure about that?
As sure can be. Mostly.
What?
There.
Oh, somehow it's worse when it's lit up. Oh!
What's wrong?
There! Planted in the lawn. It's the sacrificial cross thing.
It does look like something you could tie a person to.
Don't say that!
Mary, there is no one in this house. There's no one on this island.
You don't know that.
Well, if they are, they're doing a great job of hiding. Now, the tunnel leading under the house is right there. We're going to go in and look around.
But we're not getting off the boat, right?
Unless I see a whole lot of liquor. That was the whole idea behind this trip, remember? Okay, keep that light on where we're going. I don't want to scrape up against that rock.
It's like a haunted cave in there.
Think of it like a tunnel of love ride.
Slow down. The boat's moving too fast.
It isn't either. You're just shaking. Just hang on. Wow. This must have been really something back in the day.
It's something now. Something terrifying.
Shine the light over there.
It's the dock.
It sure is. We're drifting right toward it. There. I'll hold us to the dock while you shine the light around the cave here.
You said if we didn't see any liquor, we could get out of here.
They wouldn't have stored the liquor on the dock, would they? Where's that tunnel leading?
Hang on, I'll move the light. There. Satisfied? There's nothing.
Swing it over to that tunnel.
How many tunnels do they have?
Just give it a look. There, right there.
What?
There's a staircase. And next to the staircase, 3 crates stacked up. Whiskey crates.
Oh, no.
Tie us off at that end. I'll get a second line down at the stern.
You aren't seriously thinking of getting out of the boat, are you?
That's why we came, Mary. Come on.
We ain't found any more liquor. Can't we just go?
Those 3 crates of whiskey wouldn't last us a month. There has to be more.
But we've looked all through this basement.
Not this door.
You've said that for the last 3 doors.
Is it my fault this guy loved his basements?
Well, I don't want to be knocking around this crazy old mansion any more than I... Whoa.
My words exactly.
I think we found the wine cellar.
I think you're right. Look at this. There's a whole wall of whiskey, gin.
Oh, look, absinthe! Oh, I've always wanted to try absinthe.
No, you really don't.
Oh? Do tell.
Not now. We have to figure out how to haul all this stuff. That's our biggest problem.
What was that?
Okay, I guess that's our biggest problem.
You don't think it's a
Don't say it.
ghost?
There are no such things as ghosts. Besides, this house had all kinds of weird goings-on, but no one ever said anything about ghosts.
I'll happily add it to the list.
It's probably just the wind or something.
Is that the wind?
Of course it is.
Well, if that's the wind, he's getting more elaborate.
Okay, not that I believe in ghosts.
But
There's no reason to haul anything tonight. We can come back in broad daylight.
I know something we can haul.
What?
Haul ass, let's go!
Come on, through here.
No, isn't it through here?
Here, I'm sure of it. Pretty sure.
Oh, but make a door.
I'm beginning to share your opinion on this guy's basement. How many doors do you need?
At the moment, I just need one. Oh, but which one is it? Oh, I need this one.
Okay.
Ah!
Who are you?
Me? I'm just the man with the gas.
The what? Oh, he said gas.
Oh, that's it. A little more. There. All awake?
Sue?
Both of you awake. Splendid. Now, didn't your mother ever teach you that trespassing is against the law?
Who are you?
The owner of this domicile, if that means anything to the likes of you.
Cuthbert Hyde-White?
Oh my. I haven't heard that name in years. These days I prefer to go by Zanzibar, mystic of the East.
Did you tie us up?
Well, obviously. You couldn't have tied yourselves. You were out cold.
I mean, is there anyone else here?
Of course. My lovely bride, Cleopatra. She's always in attendance. Come meet our guests, my sweet. There. May I present my partner on my journey to the next plane of existence, and my wife, Cleopatra.
Sue, it's just a dummy on a cart.
Dressed up in an Egyptian costume at that.
What was that? Costume? Dummy?
We didn't say anything. We were just overcome by the sight of the Queen of the Nile. Truly, Your Highness, your beauty has been understated through the ages.
I like you. I don't think I'll kill you.
Thank you?
Oh, but we do need blood for sacrifices. Perhaps just hook you up to a sieve.
As big an honor as that would be, I would not be worthy.
Pray, tell why.
I'm completely ignorant of all this. My blood would only pollute the sacrifice unless I possessed knowledge. Who are you? Who is Cleopatra? What are these planes of existence you speak of?
Oh, you make a good point. I shall grant you the knowledge you seek. I have only to go to gather the Book of Shadows. Excuse me a moment. I think I left it in the kitchen when I was shelling the peas. Watch them, my sweet.
Is he gone?
For the moment. How are you getting along with those knots?
Pretty good. Beau lives on an island, so he probably knows basic seamanship, but he's no match for... There.
Good job, Mary. Can you get my feet?
You don't want your hands first?
I can run with my hands tied.
Good thinking. Here. What is it with that guy?
Crazy as a loon, I'm guessing. The mannequin dressed as his wife suggests she flew the coop or worse, and he went off the deep end.
You think he killed her?
Could be. I don't want to hang around to question him.
There. Got your feet free.
If you can start this knot on my hands, I can probably work on them as we get back to the boat.
Okay. Which way is the boat?
I don't know. This tunnel only has the one exit, so we'll have to go that way.
But that's the way Cuthbert just went.
We have no choice. Come on.
Where are you, my
Oh, no.
ones?
Is this the way?
I think we just need to go away from him.
Agreed. What was that?
I don't know, but keep going. I think I smell water.
Come on!
Nice job, Mary.
I was just running like a chicken. This here is pure luck. You got your hands free?
Sure. Get in the boat and let's go.
Where's Cuthbert?
Don't know, don't care. Come on.
I wish this channel was wide enough to turn around in.
Me too. We just have to back out carefully.
Well, hurry!
Don't rush me. We're almost to the cave entrance.
Thought you could escape, eh?
Mr. Hyde-White, we are very sorry for trespassing and will now take our leave.
You think it's that simple, do you? You think you can escape the house of Cleopatra?
Yes, actually.
And why exactly do you think you'll get away?
Because apparently no one ever taught you it is dangerous to stand in a speedboat. Did I shake him off?
Let me check. Oh, he's hanging on the side of the boat. No, he's hanging on the side of me.
No, I'll stop.
Don't you dare. Keep going. I got an idea.
What?
Give in. Give in to my power.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard that from a man.
Mary.
Almost there. I just have to get this rope around his hands.
What?
Give in. Give in, I say. The power... What are you doing?
Trying to finish this bow hitch. You're not the only one past basic seamanship.
Oh, you'll never get any farther than...
Shut up! Full steam ahead, Sue. Get this bucket moving.
What did you do?
Tied his hands to the bow line. If we drag him through the waves for a minute or two, I bet that'll take the fight out of him.
That's brilliant.
Throttle back a bit. I think our fish has about had it.
Help! Help! Help me!
You gonna behave yourself?
You gotta help me! I can't swim.
Well, ain't that just the rich for you? Buy a lakefront home when you can't even swim.
Criminy, Mary, you look like a drowned rat.
Well, ain't that a nice thing to say?
I'm sorry. You should just see yourself.
I apologize, Sheriff, but I didn't have time to put on my face before your thugs dragged me down to your station.
Yeah, sorry about that, but you shouldn't have roared around the lake in front of the Wilcox's place. They're a little jumpy about that house, and they sent their boy for us right away.
Cuthbert talking yet?
Yeah, he's talking a blue streak, but I want to hear from you two first. What happened?
We went to the house to investigate the wine cellar.
Like I told you not to.
Exactly. Cuthbert caught us in the act, tied us up, we escaped. He jumped in our boat as we were pulling out, Mary pushed him out, and we dragged him around the lake for a while so he'd behave.
Why?
Because he was ranting and raving about his wife Cleopatra and their cult or whatever. Has he explained that part?
A bit. Being dragged behind your boat knocked some sense into him. He admitted he married the former Mabel Schmutz because he was infatuated with her. She was a magician's assistant down in Chicago. Apparently he kept putting her up to more and more elaborate stunts to impress his rich, occult-obsessed friends. Then came that fateful night they decided to fake a human sacrifice.
Fake it?
Yeah, that's right. Hired a girl from the city to come play the victim. Tied her up and everything. And then when the Wilcoxes arrived, they saw the setup, and Mabel or Cleopatra, whichever, decided she didn't want to risk being seen by witnesses, so she grabbed the girl and took off. The friends followed.
But what about finding the house all lit but empty?
Cuthbert admitted he went kind of wiggy when everyone left. He claims he started walking around the house, talking to thin air as if people were still there. When he heard me and my deputies show up, he hid from us. Easy to do. That place has hundreds of tunnels and secret rooms in the basement.
Don't we know it?
One last thing. If the guests all took off, why were the boats still there?
Yeah, well, that one might be on me.
What?
I put Latch and Powers in charge of searching the island while I searched the house. We were all pretty spooked. Latch just admitted to me that they started around the island and, well, they got the willies and then headed back to the boat and hid. They never even checked the main dock. Man, I wish we had a kitchen so I could put those two on KP duty for the rest of their lives.
So Cuthbert's been hanging around his house all this time?
Sounds like it, yeah, which brings us to the sensitive subject of what happens next.
What do you mean, sensitive?
Well, Cuthbert really didn't do anything illegal until today, when he assaulted you two. So, if you don't press any charges, I just have to let him go.
Oh, no, you don't. Lock him up, Sheriff. It's about time one of those rich fellas gets what's coming to him.
Beau,
Yes, Susan?
if Cuthbert goes to jail, that house goes to the county, correct?
Probably. Kind of depends on who owns the paper on the house.
What are you thinking, Sue?
Well, that house would go up for auction, along with all of its contents if you and I press charges. But maybe Cuthbert would be agreeable to making a deal.
You mean trade him his freedom for certain contents of the house? Contents down in the wine cellar, for example?
For example, yes.
Oh boy. Something tells me I shouldn't hear any of this.
Probably not. Say, Beau,
Yes.
I think we want to chat with Cuthbert, just to tell him no hard feelings.
I suppose you'd like some privacy.
Yes, please.
Fine. But on one condition.
What's that?
When this is all over, I want a drink.
This has been Rum Runner Sue, Monster Sour Mash. Our play this evening starred Billie Jo Konze as Sue, Trelawney Erwin was Mary, James Yount was Beau, Tom Bement played Ole Ole, and Douglas Skrief was Cuthbert Hyde-White. Mutt and Jeff at the beginning of the play were played by Jonathan Primack and Jeffrey Adams. Tonight's script was written by Jeffrey Adams, who also did the editing, sound effects, and partial music for the episode, created with loops from Loopmasters. Some sound effects from the FreeSound Project at freesound.org. This program copyright 2024 by the Icebox Radio Theater, which is solely responsible for its content. These programs are produced through support from our wonderful patrons and listeners. For more information on how to become one of those, visit iceboxradio.org.